Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor, and in this video we have a lot of severe weather coming up in the next few days, so we're going to go ahead and be talking about that. I know in my last video I was talking about tropical weather and the potential of a hurricane happening in the Gulf of Mexico. I'll leave a link to that in the description below if you guys want to check it out. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. Alright, so this is what we have right here. This is for day one. We have an enhanced risk for parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, including the city of Springfield, Little Rock, as well as Tulsa right here. So that's basically what we have right here. The slight risk goes from Texas all the way to Indiana, including St. Louis, Indianapolis, Evansville, Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis, Greenville, Mississippi, and all those other cities right there. We have the marginal risk going everywhere else from Ohio to Texas. There's another slight risk actually in parts of Oregon and Idaho right here, which is pretty interesting, but I'll be keeping an eye out for that. And we have generic thunderstorms pretty much everywhere else. So here's the tornado threat we have. There's a 2% risk in parts of Idaho and a 2% risk from southern Indiana to Oklahoma. There's a 5% concentrated area for parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas right here. So the threat has been increased a little bit, but it was at 2% yesterday. Now we have a 30% wind threat with a hatched area, which means there's a 30% risk of 75 mile per hour or more winds within 25 miles of a point right here. That also extends somewhat into the 15% area. The hail threat, the entire 30% area is encompassed in this. Same with some of the 15%, which means there's a 15 or 30%, depending on where you are, risk of very large hail of 2 inches or more within 25 miles of a point. So that's basically what we have right here. Let's go ahead and read the summary and some of the situation in the situation we have right here. Thankfully, they have it a shorter read for us, so it'll be easier to consume. Summary: scattered to numerous severe thunderstorms with swaths of wind damage, very large hail, and a couple of brief tornadoes are expected into this evening for southeast Kansas, southern Missouri, eastern Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Other isolated severe storms will be possible later this afternoon across the interior Pacific Northwest, Ozark Plateau, and lower Ohio, Mississippi, Red River valleys. Several clusters are ongoing across eastern Kansas and western Missouri, with the leading cluster in west central to southwest Missouri having a reported history of sporadic wind and hail, with pronounced boundary heating occurring downstream. Further intensification is expected to the east-southeast of the MCV as the MCV shifts towards the confluence of the Mississippi-Ohio valleys. Damaging winds and a brief tornado or two will be the primary threat in this regime. Lower south and southwest, low 70s surface dew points beneath the eastern plume of the stout elevated mixed layer should yield a very unstable air mass with CAPE of 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram by mid-afternoon. Let's actually go ahead and go to the DuPage models right here. There it is, DuPage models. Let's go ahead and go right here. Let's go ahead and select the HER model just to cross-check it right here. So, convective surface-based CAPE. This is as of the latest run. Already, we're seeing CAPE cracking 5,000 in parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. And basically that's what's going on right here. And then this thing just disappears. I want to look at the 16Z if this is a similar phenomenon. Yeah, it looks like it's a similar phenomenon. It looks like the CAPE is actually, as of right now, a much higher amount than it actually seems to be. Because when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the fact that there is CAPE cracking 5,000 in this shot, and then just immediately dwindles to this. So that we're gonna keep it at this. The CAPE's cracking 5,000 joules per kilogram in some of these areas. So very large hail is very much not out of the question. So that's basically what we have right here. And CAPE-wise, let's go ahead and look at the dew point temperatures for you. The dew points are in the 70s right here. We're looking at 70, 73, 71. 72, 74 in some areas right here. And then let's go ahead and look at the temperatures. Oh, these temperatures with the dew point, it's going to be enough for these storms to fire off easily. There's a lot of energy with these storms, and it's just going to continue to feed off of it. So that's basically what we have right here. The surface-based CAPE, that's what we have right here. Let's look at the most unstable CAPE just to cross-check it. Yep, it's still there. The mean layer CAPE. The mean layer CAPE, interestingly enough, this is around 3,000 or so. So, yeah, the 0 to 3 kilometer CAPE, it's around. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's mostly in the upper atmosphere, which is why there's that large hail risk, because The updraft is what's going to be making that hail, as well as the temperatures are going to be below freezing up in that part of the atmosphere. So that's what's going on with this. So let's go ahead. And continue this right here. Both warm air advection-driven activity south of the MCV track, as well as regenerated development along behind the trailing outflow, will support supercells embedded within the emerging south and southeast tracking clusters. Most guidance has become better aligned in suggesting multiple Boeing segments within the broader northwest flow regime across eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, towards the lower Red River Valley, mainly during the late afternoon, early evening. Overall, SEB should support scattered swaths of golf ball to baseball size hail with semi-discrete supercells and 60 to 80 mile per hour damaging winds within embedded bows. Some forms of MCSs should make it as far east as the lower Ohio Valley and as far south as the lower Mississippi Valley and Ark La-Tex. Though the damaging wind threat will be diminishing later this evening. So we could be seeing up to baseball-size hail with this. So, for those of you who don't know, baseball-size hail, that's enough to break through windshields. That's enough to cause serious damage to your roof. So, if there's a severe thunderstorm warning that says there's baseball-size hail, I would move to a lower level, just to be safe with this. So, let's go. That's day 1. Let's go ahead and go to day 2 right here. Day 2, the severe threat continues, and we have an enhanced risk for parts of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, and Virginia, as well as a little swath of West Virginia, but that's okay, as well as Delaware as well, most of Delaware. And this will actually affect 26 million people in this enhanced risk. It includes the cities of Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, and Syracuse, New York. The slight risk encompasses 31 million people, including New York City, Virginia Beach, Raleigh, North Carolina, Newark, New Jersey, and Norfolk, Virginia. And the marginal risk affects 34 million people. So it includes Charlotte, Boston, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Lubbock, Texas, which is this swath right here. So let's actually look at the threat. The tornado threat's at 5% in this area of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia right here. So there is definitely the threat for tornadoes right there, but this is generally going to be a wind-driven event right here. You'll see a 30% risk of wind in this advanced risk area. The hail threat, it's at 15%, but there's no 30% risk in this area as of now. I'll keep updating you guys as the situation progresses, because the slight and enhanced risk combined affects over almost 58 million people. So I'll be keeping a very close eye out on that, but let's go ahead and continue. There's an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms from northern Virginia into New York. We're going to go ahead and read the summary, skip the synopsis, and talk about the hazard that's going to be going on in New York. Summary. Scattered severe storms are expected Monday for central New York, western New England, southward into the Carolinas. Damaging winds, hail, and a few tornadoes will be possible through around about 0Z, which is about 8 p.m. their time. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that. Northwest to the mid-Atlantic into the Carolinas. Thunderstorms will likely be ongoing Monday morning into western Pennsylvania, into West Virginia along the developing cold front. The sub-SB SIN will likely be removed by 15Z due to the cool 700 millibar temperatures. Storms are expected to become severe between 15 and 18Z, which in their time frame is between 11 and 2 p.m. And as they develop into the south central New York, central Pennsylvania, and towards northern Virginia, Cape is expected to average 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram with an effective deep layer shear of 40 to 50 knots. The Cape is not why they issue the enhanced risk, it's the shear right here. Mixed storm modes could occur, including supercells and QLCS. Damaging wind gusts will be most likely. The tornado threat is expected to increase into the late afternoon as the surface low and trough deepens. Low-level lapse rates are maximized, and effective SRH increases to around 200 meters per second each squared. Cool temperatures aloft and longitude hydrographs also favor sporadic hail and stronger cells. Although shear will be weaker in the south into the Carolinas, strong heating and plentiful moisture will result in 2,000 joules per kilogram of Cape, with sufficiently western shear to support supercells within the hail threat. Few cells may linger through 0 to 2Z, which is 8 to 10 p.m. So this looks like it's going to be a late morning and more of an early afternoon threat than it is going to be like a late afternoon threat in some of these areas. Although we could see some storms in the late afternoon right here. I actually want to go ahead. I actually want to take a look at the models because we know what the Cape's going to be pretty weak. But we're gonna actually. I want to actually take a look. Look at this. We'll have to go back to the 12Z for this, but look at this. It doesn't crack. It cracks 2,000 in parts of Virginia, but it doesn't get that much. Let's go ahead and look at the dew points. The dew points are fairly decent. They're at the upper 60s in parts of the DC area. So if you're in the DC area, you need to keep an eye out for some potentially bad severe weather. If you're in this area, it looks like there's going to be decent dew points. Look at the temperatures. The temperatures get into the mid 70s, to the mid 80s in parts of these areas. So there's definitely going to be enough moisture for this severe stuff to happen. So let's go ahead and go to the day 3. There's a slight risk in this area right here, probabilistic 15%. We'll cover that a little bit later. But days 4 through 8, this is what I'm looking at right here. Day 5, there's a 15% risk in, once again, parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa right here. And day 6 right here, we have a huge area of 15% risk from Texas all the way up to Michigan. So everyone needs to keep a very close eye out for this. So we'll go ahead and read the day 5 and day 6 severe risks. Okay. Discussion. Global models appear to be increasingly good agreement throughout day 6 across the United States, moving a mid-level trough out of the Gulf of Alaska and into across the Pacific Northwest day 4 Wednesday and eastward into the northern plains by day 5 Thursday into the upper Great Lakes in Ontario on day 6 Wednesday, which this is why they issued this on day 6 because there's going to be such a large area of at least some certainty of severe weather. It encompasses from Michigan, St. Louis is right slap in the middle, and all the way down to Dallas, because why not Dallas? Why not include any severe threat with Dallas? Because that's basically what's going on. Let's go ahead. As the upper system advances, a cold front is forecast to emerge from the northern Rockies and into across northern and eventually the central plains. Near this front, an evolving surface low focused ascent across the north-central states' upper Mississippi Valley region will likely result in afternoon to evening severe storms, along with the potential for large hail and damaging winds. A few tornadoes are also expected, given flow expected to veer favorably through the lower half of the troposphere, while increasing in magnitude with height, suggesting shear favorable for supercells. Some severe risk may also evolve eastward across the Midwest and Ohio Valley region as the mid-level disturbances move through the westerly flow aloft near a weak west to east baroclinic zone. However, with north to south positioning of this boundary uncertain, differing rather substantially in various models, we will not highlight this more uncertain risk with a 15% area at this time. Steady advance of the upper trough. An associated cold front will continue into day 6, with the boundary forecast to extend from the upper Great Lakes to the southern plains during the afternoon. Once again, a favorable, moist, destabilizing warm air mass will lead to severe storm development near and ahead of the front as the eastern fringe of the stronger southwesterlies aloft spread atop the frontal zone yield shear sufficient for organized rotating storms. Large hail and damaging winds will appear to be the primary risks, along with some potential for tornadoes. And that's basically what we have models for day 7, okay? At day 7, we have predictability low, so we're not going to talk about that. But I will say this. Anything can happen with this. And we have to be very cognizant of this, because this is May 15th. Day 6, that is May 20th. So that's basically what we have right here. I'll be keeping a close eye out for you guys, but with that being said, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal with this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. Also, my May hurricane video will be in the link in the description below if you want to take a look at it. But with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.